What happens when the sun meets the moon and the moon meets the sun, and you are both your own feminine and masculine energies? Wow. A 5D mystic can tell you all about it, and that's because the Enlightenment Soul age group is pretty awesome, as is being a functional adult, actually empowered woman. So that means a 0 1 year old, that's free. I have secure attachment. My 3 year old has no shame, and you can come on over and do personal development and self help and become your own feminine body stuff and masculine, but divine, and without divines over here, and that's how I explain it. But I'm not going to explain it right now. I'm going to get into our topic of why a actual sun and moon energy, so masculine, feminine, and or one and in the same. Let's read this. We don't wonder why someone called a he doesn't call us back after a one night stand or two or three. We'll know that they don't call us back because, what a person who doesn't get out of the Pinocchio with a wooden body, and I am going to say adaptive child, maladaptive child behavior, who do not want to live a true spirituality life or what is called a true human being life because they don't move into what is a social engagement, ventral vagal state, and that can take place with their desire to become an integrated brain. So to see emotions, thoughts, and then to notice that they do live a life, and if they want it to be a meaning and connection, it's going to be beyond the solo self. Otherwise, it's not really our mammalian heritage. It's going to be something different. And that's why Pinocchio, with the wooden body, has ears and tails and walks around and prances around like Cusco does. And you see them doing the shame cycle dance, inner critic, outer critic, and then they fuck, do drugs, and drink, and do the whole, they don't call people back. And when they're done fucking, they basically apparently wake up, no, a minute after, they're disgusted with contempt and shame. And then they don't go to good therapy. So I don't like to make fun of anyone, but there's plenty of people healing transgenerational trauma and just trauma overall versus using stereotypes, generalizations of genders. Okay, so that's where we also don't wonder how to keep a man. Again, empowered women here, they're not an object. They're not my dog. I don't have them on a leash, and I don't need to keep anyone because of having to learn to use my 2 hands and feet as if I'm alone. I'm not alone. I have a whole herd, like, of people. And but solo poly, we're not couple centric focused. So we build secure attachment figures, relationships of those who want to be that. That means they want to soothe your nervous system. So when my 0 1 year old gets upset, a secure attachment figure romantically is going to pay all the attention. I'm going to get flowers, I'm going to get all of it. I'm not going to get the Pinocchio wooden body. No, that's not a secure attachment figure. That's going to be a secure connection who will not be a safe haven. They're only going to be maybe a secure base. It depends. Can I share with you the excitement of everything that I do in my 24 hours? Are you going to be interested in how my 24 hours went? If yes, then there we go. Okay, so secure connections can be one or the two or none at all. And sometimes we just say, hey, how's it going? And there's a secure connection. Why? As Pachas don't do the shame dance. The shame dance are for Pinocchios with a wooden body. And again, they have ears and a tail, and they are the adaptive child who thinks they know everything. As Terry Real points out, adaptive children, they come into conversation with self-bridled expression all over it. This is a 3 year old. Like when I get interrupted by men in general or anyone who says, no, you cannot love all equally because you just said that you don't hang out with the love-dependent people. Well, see, love is this thing called my oxytocin gene hormone. And since I love all humans, because, it's like, I guess maybe, who knows, somebody could probably do a linear thing, which is what the teenagers tend to do. Because, see, when you're trying to prove you're right, that's what you're going to do. You're going to give me a list of items, which is exactly how an adaptive child makes it all about their self. And then they don't accept that their thoughts and emotions are not irrefutable facts. They also don't accept that it's a subjective opinion, perspective, as well as agency. So they don't accept that they are giving to me their opinion and perspective, and that I'm telling them no, and they're like, no, but I'm proving it. So that's the whole point. Really, for me, proof is I don't need proof of social engagement activities. That's exactly why if somebody says, you're a hypocrite. No, I'm not. Wait, why? Oh, I see. Yes, then you're right. I guess for you, a friend of mine called me that. Okay, so that's what happens when you're a sun and a moon and a feminine and a masculine. And, oh, you don't lack imagination for evil. No, and you don't lack education for any of it either. You also know you don't use those words, not here at least. Not the way that the philosophical and religious ancient textbooks. No, we use a microforensic Michael Stone, forensic criminologist, his scale is what I use, and they all need therapists. So technically, anybody who wants to bring me the humans are fucked up, humans are evil, well, they all need good therapists if they're in that boat, and they make me think of Pinocchio with the wooden body, ears and a tail, and that they're not going to do emotional lifting. And as Patrick Teahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing, points out in Therapist to his audience, he says, there's a lot of cowardice. They're going to keep on doing the transgenerational trauma. Leave it alone. They're going to bring their adaptive child and project all of their codependent, low self-esteem, passive-aggressive stuff. So whether it's love-dependent and love avoidance, codependent, martyr superiors, or blamers, none of those people are empowered. In fact, they'll do the things like, yeah, we had to learn to make it on our own. Really, really, that's how you're feeling about that. I'm going to say it sounds like the teenagers I met when they were talking to me about their breakups. And I would say, I got broken up with, I got cheated on. I mean, come on. Why are you sounding like there's more fish in the sea? Didn't anybody tell you that there's more human beings and that some are securely attached so they know what healthy self-worth means, direct communication? They know how to be their own feminine and masculine. They know how to be their depth of experience. Isn't that what you want? What are you looking for in a relationship? Excuse me. I thought you said romance and passion. You can't have romance or passion with inconsistent people who are Pinocchios with a wooden body. And I'm using storytelling, as you can tell, to say, yeah, the people who need therapists, they're non-bilaterally integrated. I'm not kidding with you. And they're like teenagers who are moody. They make it all about them. The 3-year-old has shame. The 1-year-old isn't even seen. And they do things like this. Excuse me. You're confusing spirituality and sciences. No, I'm not. Yes, let me prove it to you, basically. Like, no, you can't love all people equally. Well, yes, I can. And do I like all people? No, you know what? You're right. But I won't cast a stone and say, I dislike you. Even though if I have to, if you force me to use words, you put a gun to my head, well, I guess I'm going to have to make a choice because you don't accept that I want to welcome all people. So people who don't accept that we are all encompassing are the very same ones that we say, yes, you know what? I don't know love at all. Please, Pinocchio, with a body made of wood and ears and a tail, go have fun. With the other people that think that the Hangover movie is cool or Mean Girls or any of what this is of the shame cycle, and say people are fucked up, which is why I'm not going to do mindfulness, meditation, or journaling. I don't want to integrate my brain more. I don't want to get out of the not securely attached torture hell of body. No, I'm going to stay in it and romanticize my diagnosis or pathology and or demonize it. And there's no need for superheroes or supervillains. There's nobody who's needing rescuing. In the Mantles world, though, adaptive children, they got Peter Pans and Wendy's. We talked all about it, okay? So empowered women, we don't do keeping a man. That sounds like a dog. I don't have a dog. I don't need to keep you around. That just sounds like I'm torturing you. I feel so bad because the thing is I want you to want to be around. That's how it works. So let's talk about the sun. Is acknowledged by many cultures as the foremost masculine force. In other traditions, it is seen as the feminine in her full power, and we agree with both because that's what a flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brain. We don't need it to be one linear. We do analogical, and it's all beautiful because really it's energies we're talking about, okay? So whatever resonates is how you're going to go, but I resonate with both. It makes sense. Depending on the culture and the background, you're going to understand where and why it would come to masculine or feminine. Okay, so on that note, we do personal development here, and I'm attachment trauma informed, if I forgot to mention that. Either way, it is the most brilliant light for all beings and allows life to sprout from the dark, feminine earth. And that's because, our ground, soil, and it's nice and cold and sometimes warm. I forget because I don't go out that much into I like the sand and the beach. I don't want to be in the mountains. So I love you, earth, but I don't want to be in the cold soil. I'm not joking right now. I get very cold very easily, but I'm sure that there are people who could educate me on the earth and soil. It can be gentle and warming, close to sunrise or sunset, fall or winter, or it can be destructive, as in its zenith during a scorching summer. Yep. So on that note, as we both meet fun and sun and moon here at IHP, empowered women, empowered men, empowered days, we build functional adult love language relationships. So we talk direct communication. We don't take it personally if somebody doesn't call us back. We'll just know that they're not a person who takes themselves seriously, or life for that matter. And also, we don't feel disgust or contempt or shame if we've made a conscious choice, because conscious choice means that I chose consciously. Now, if on the other hand, there's something called suppressing, let me use something that I saw, well, then that's a different story. But see, people who are aware of themselves, we do not suppress. Now, when a maladaptive child behavior or adaptive child behavior becomes aware, oh, look, my 1 year old and 3 year old, they need me, and I'm going to get out of the 16-year-old attitude because I want to. So black and white thinking, split thinking, there's good therapists around, there's good personal development. I want to do emotions because the passion and romance is found not with the Pinocchio body, but it's found with the depths of your emotional plane. Okay? And therefore, some people, they like to use words like shadow work. So I don't do words like that. I'm just going to say it's inner growth work. Doesn't need to be called shadow. But I understand that for some groups of people, they do this with their therapist. Okay, so here we just do emotions and thoughts, personal development, self-help. But it all comes together, okay? So questions that were posed that are interesting. What are things that you do to numb yourself to avoid facing your trauma? I see plenty of people, again, Pinocchios with ears and a tail, and when I share with them information of how to get out of it, they roll their eyes. What is something you have done that you still have not forgiven yourself for, and why? Again, people who actually don't notice that this is part of their journey, and it is important to forgive oneself, but also if you want to make amends, this is very important, repairing ruptures, and if you've treated people in certain ways, like Cusco. Cusco kind of apologized to Pacha at a certain point when he had accused him of being evil and all this stuff. And then at the end, though, of the story, as you can see, Cusco doesn't even face the truth of, I want to live next to you, Pacha. He makes up another passive way of saying, oh, let me just, get my way around it so that I can live with you and be near you. And so here's where, as a child, what is something you wish your parents would have said to you more? So Pacha knows how to say, come on and live with, yes, it's cool. Because that's exactly what here, secure attachment, 1 year old knows. We want to hug all people. That's why we love all people. If you're a 5D mystic in the Enlightenment Soul Age group, you're going to know what I'm talking about, because we don't lose that connection. So like Pacha, that everyone has a heart and that nobody is an actual Pinocchio with a wooden body. But when you prance around, making it look like you're a real boy, real girl, real they, with ears and a tail, and I find it hard to believe that the first 3 years of life, and then you hear people say lack of imagination for evil, and people buy into that as well. Lack of education. So let's empower people with education and fun. So what is it, again, what is something that you wish your parents would have said to you more, and what is something you wish they would have done less? Then what else? If someone was talking behind your back, oh, I've had that one happen before. What is the thing they could say that would hurt your feelings the most, and why? Oh, yeah, so here's the thing, nothing. I saw all that I could see from my teenage boyfriend and all of the people that didn't tell me about him cheating on me the second time. And I went up to every one of them and said, hey, why didn't you tell me? My friends, the friends. And one friend told me, and one friend, I'll never forget, if I'm pretty sure, because my memory is faulty sometimes, but I remember she said, the only reason that dude told you the truth is because he liked you. And I said, no, he doesn't. She said, yes, he does. And for all I know, it might be true. So what you find out is that people don't have the guts to talk in your face. That's what an empowered woman will find out, which is why if he don't call me back, oh, don't worry, it's okay. And I'm pretty sure if he feels disgust or contempt and shame, well, that's his trauma, his stuff, or her or they. I mean, I've met women that as they told me what they did and as they felt, I'm like, then don't do it. No, I have to. No, you don't. You don't have. I want the you want a person. You don't want a body. I don't understand how you don't understand how to disengage from something that doesn't have you feeling good, because you're telling it to me in my face. So let's see. That's how empowered teenagers, we don't say, let me hold it on my shoulder. No, I'm going to tell you in your face, and I'm going to keep walking, and I'm going to have learned that you don't know how to, what's called, live a heart body, value body. And here's where, if you don't take ownership of the self with the emotions and the thoughts, and know we're all imperfect and flawed, but that being straightforward is nice. Now, sometimes we cannot, make all people happy. This happens. And that's the moment of truth with our connections, because it's the connections that we're like, okay, this is personal because it's something you want to grow. But sometimes you can also have, in the long run, luckily, we grow empowered relationships. So with each other, Sid, Diego, Manny, Pacha, Cusco, Squirrels, all of it. And there's your relationships. Nobody's like, let me hang over your head anything. That's for the people who do drama, kings and queens, and they're Pinocchios with those wooden bodies, with the ears and the tails, and they will be in martyr, superior, blamer, and mantles they are. So, number 5, if you were to get an apology from that person, the people who talk behind your back, yes, you better bet that that doesn't actually happen, by the way. Do you want the apology because you actually want to hear those words from them? No. Or because you feel like your validation is tied up into what they think and why? No. Okay, so this is the part of where if you have empowerment, you don't want an apology from anyone because you don't want to hear words. I'm sorry doesn't mean anything if you are building a relationship. Also, I don't need you to give me a thumbs up. Validation is for a 0 1 year old who doesn't have an owner. Just FYI. So I'm describing to you how personally, yeah, no, I don't want an apology. Jesus taught me very well the word forgiveness, and it immediately made sense. And I'm laughing because, one, like I said, nobody apologizes. Not, not this way. I have a story for you, and it's not even a story. But let me finish. What is the thing about your life right now that the younger you would be the most surprised by? For me, it's my clairs. I never thought I would become a mystic. I was like, wow, that's the one thing my 16-year-old would never have thought. And you know why? Because I know that as an Akashic record reader, tarot card reader, Reiki master, that some people that I will love will think that I'm something that I'm not. And that made me sad. And would they be proud of the life you have now? Yes. My 16-year-old is very proud of me, or disappointed. No. And anyone who's disappointed at their self can do something to get out of that, by the way, which is called I can stand up with my 2 hands and my 2 feet, go to good therapy, find healthy self-worth people, figure out how to get healthy boundaries. It's all very accessible in 2024. What is a promise to yourself that you keep continuing to break? None. And why haven't you stopped? I don't break promises to myself because I don't break promises that I don't make. And here's the part. You learn how people say, I don't make promises because I don't keep them. Well, that's a good cop out, isn't it? So some people, they decide how to conduct themselves. And it's called by somehow not growing up. Others of us, we do grow up. And it's nice to be still, though, an inner child adult. All of us are imperfect and flawed, which is why for me, promises don't actually make sense because I've seen people, even as a 44-year-old woman, they don't keep them. I don't make them. And when I've heard the cop out, I just thought, wow, that's one way to let yourself off easy. As for apologies, again, yeah, I'll share a story in a part 2. That way I don't keep you all too long. But let's be kind, compassionate. It takes wanting to be your emotional, mental, mature human being person to be here with an open heart. It's called your ventral vagal state. It's your restorative embodiment self. It's secure attachment. We do that and more here for those who are willing to be overflowing with their humanity. And as our lovely Sadhguru shares, it means you overflow with divinity, or divinity descends, but it's not in the idea of, Nietzsche. When he compares humanity to God and they're like, heathen, it's like, wow, I mean, I'm pretty sure Nietzsche meant it that way, but today we're all a lot more open-minded. We know about dark matter and dark energy, and actually, you know what, I am happy that we still have the sun, because I know the future. I will be in the future as a mystic, but I also know the future, which is where I understood why 4D keep on distorting what they see. And I'm going to leave that one alone. Thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you again shortly.